people like me who wanted to cut taxes are perfectly prepared and willing to see big tax increases on the wealthy. We're interested in UBI. I'm interested in finding ways to support working class Americans. I mean, so many of us have moved so far to the left on economic questions. We can see the threat that this kind of inequality does to a democracy, which is very profound. We can see how it tears a society apart because the people with the most money have less and less interest in the common good and all the rest of it. And so I'm much more open to spending, to support working class and poor people. But when I'm told that I'm a white supremacist every day, a Nazi, a member of the KKK, someone who has to be banned from discourse because I don't share the critical race theory view of the world, which is everything is about race, you're turning me off. I mean, I still vote a Democrat, and I still will. But if I'm feeling that way, I can imagine how many other Americans feel. And why was Obama's approach so bad? I mean, he got reelected twice by not making it all about race.
Well, yeah. So I mean, I will gently push back on you on one thing before agreeing with you wholeheartedly on the rest. I think the whole thing about feeling personally affronted by things like critical race theory and Ibram X. Kendi, you don't have to walk into the bullets. I don't think they're directed at you personally. I think that there's been a long run in the country of faddish, voguish, lefty discourse that silly white liberals jump on and then kind of move on with their lives, right? So one of the things that I've heard you talking about, sort of corporate wokeness, Glenn Greenwald and Michael Tracy and you are exercised about corporate wokeness. Having worked at a large corporation, corporate wokeness is what you do so you don't get sued, what you do so that you can appear kind of cool and groovy to the public while you're funneling millions of dollars in campaign money to people on the right. It's a sort of classic dance. And the idea that corporations are out for anything other than their bottom line, the idea that Jamie Dimon is some kind of big, progressive wokester is laughable. It's just that bad things happen in the world, and he's covering his ass by sort of, having, what they call the pro-social group in their corporation, put out some pablum to show that they're kind of a 21st century company. Doesn't mean a whole lot. But I do agree with you that there's a huge opportunity in this moment. So, I mean, this isn't, speaking of things that don't get talked about. So Trump won Florida. The $15 minimum wage proposition that was on the ballot in Florida in November won 61% of the vote. And so if you want to talk kind of purely, I think there's a distinction that we need to make between, academic thinking, critical thinking, and then smart political thinking. I 100% agree with you that focusing on things like the $15 minimum wage, focusing on UBI, which is as much a right-wing idea as a left-wing idea, right? Because you could sort of use it to knock out all sorts of social programs and put power in the hands of individuals, is a huge opportunity for our side. And that
I'm not on any side here.
Telling people, what?
Don't include me in your side. I'm not on a side here.
How dare you try to make me a member of your club? But I think that's actually I think sort of gets to the point, right? Mm-hmm. Is that I could make you a member of my club, and that there is a potential alignment, which is something that I think Bernie understood, right? The idea of the $15 minimum wage was something that was not even remotely on the table until he put it on the table. The idea of universal basic income was not remotely on the table. I never even heard of it until
really. If you'd read Charles Murray 20 years ago, you would have. Sorry, that was an unnecessary taunt.
I was busy making Flavor of Love, so
doing the important things.
You can only do so much.